These parenting videos are meant to instruct, give practical advice, and entertain. So please share them with your friends. And don't worry, we're going to handle those serious topics with real class. Thanks for watching Dougie's Fresh Parenting Tips on Tape. Hit it!
Aren't they so precious when they're sleeping?
God, watch over this precious child.
Who are you? What are you doing in my house? What are you doing to my child?
Oh, that was so awkward.
Pastor did say to pray for kids when they're sleeping.
We better watch a Dougie Fresh tape.
Hi parents, so you want to parent well? You better start praying. And I don't mean the kind of prayer where you throw your hands up in the air and, oh God, I don't know what to do. But the kind of prayers that are intentional, that helps teach your kid what it means to talk to God and have a relationship with Him. So, prayer is the theme. So, think about this. Pray for your kids when they actually are asleep. It's kind of creepy, kind of weird when you first start doing it, but honestly think about it. They're covered in their little blankets and their quilts and their covers, and we are literally then covering them in prayer. Me and my wife did that for our kids all the time, and it was a time for us to say to God, who is our parent, and as our parent, He listens to us because we're His kids, and we were able to ask Him specifically to watch over our kids, to protect them, to help them with problems they're having in school, to pray for a spouse someday that they might have, or to help their hearts understand that maybe they're going to be single for a super long time, but that's awesome as well. Or maybe we would pray for different situations that again were happening in their life, and it was just a time for us to pray specifically for them to God. And it was awesome because as our kids have grown, we've seen how some of those prayers have come to fruition. Like God actually answers them, and sometimes not as fast as we want, but we do get to see the answers. And this happened to us sometimes too. We kind of forget to do it. We'd start and it'd go great, and then we'd realize, hey, it's been a couple weeks, it's been a couple months, it's been a year since we've prayed over our kid. But instead of that stopping us, we just pick it back up again. So a lot of it was starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping, and that's totally okay. Even now, our kids are older, and I even think, oh, that's kind of weird to pray for them as old as they are when they're sleeping, but I still do it. Again, it's a time for me to connect with God and to make sure that He's helping me parent, and I'm able to talk to Him about the things that my kids need. But as much as it is important to pray for your kids, it's also so important to pray with your kids. There's a verse in 1 Thessalonians that talks about being thankful for everything and in every situation, and that we need to pray non-ceasingly. And so this is a great opportunity to teach our kids, man, lift up a prayer. Whenever anything good happens in your life, any good thing comes from God. We know this. So lift up a prayer. And it can be like a 4-second prayer. Totally okay. Maybe you guys are just chowing on some really yummy cookies and then just lift up a prayer. God, oh, these cookies taste so good. Thank you for making them so yummy in my mouth. And just lifting up a quick prayer like that can teach your kids that we don't have to pray just at night and just at meals, but we can pray without ceasing all day long and in every situation. And here's some ideas on how to pray if you're not quite sure what to pray about. Well, there's the ABC prayer, which means you pray and you thank God for something that begins with an A, and then something that begins with a B, and then a C, and then a D, and an E, and you work your way through the alphabet. And it's a great way to get your mind out of a routine and thinking about other things that God has given you. Or you could, obviously, when your kids are little, to teach them how to pray, have them just repeat what you're saying and do a simple, I say this, you repeat after me. Or write a letter or a journal. Or sometimes I even text out my prayers just so I can stay focused. You could also write words on note cards to help you remember important things and then put those on your dresser or on the refrigerator. We have a frame on a wall in our house where we stick those little note cards inside those frames to help remind us of things. You can also pray over your wows and pows or your happy and crappies. Those are different things that we used to say. A wow was something cool that happened in your day, and a pow was something that wasn't so cool. A happy made you happy, and a crappy made you feel crappy. And those can be prayer requests as well. So just share those around the dinner table, or share those when you're driving to and from practice or to and from school. And then those can be your prayers, so you can pray for each other. You can say to one of your kids, hey, let me pray for that happy. Would you pray for my crappy? And that teaches them to pray for each other as well. Or one final idea is to find something that reminds you to pray for something or about something. I found this little toy army soldier that I kept in my car, and it helped remind me to pray for the friends and family that I have who are soldiers and who are serving overseas. So maybe you'll find again something that'll help remind you to keep praying throughout the course of the day. Any way you want to communicate to God is fine. And do that with your kids and show them. It's okay. It doesn't matter how you do it. So, come on, parents. I know you can do this. I know it might feel a little uncomfortable at first, but be an example to your kids of what it means to pray, to have that connection with God, and to let them know it's totally okay to pray whenever you want to throughout the day. Short prayers, long prayers. Eyes open, eyes closed. Hands folded, hands up. Doesn't matter how you do it. Just teach your kids that prayer is just talking to God our Father. Well, that's it for this episode. I'm Dougie, and I always like keeping my parenting tips fresh.